Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk about change which you want to make in your life. So, first of all, the desire to make the change has to be within you. I cannot inject it from outside. You have to decide that you want to change. Largely, if you are wired in your finances from your past behavior, let's say your father lost money during the Harshad scam or during the Ketan scam or something like that happened, and at least your dad's version of the story is, oh, I had done all these right things but I lost money due to bad luck or something like that. You will believe your dad's version. The truth is, he must have lost money because of the simple things like being greedy or trading without understanding, buying shares with, but he will not tell you the story that way. He's emotional, and in his story, he's the hero. So your dad or your mom lost money, or your grandfather lost money in an earlier scam or something like that. They bought shares which didn't do well. That is going to impact you, whoever says. You can attend a course on investing, you can meet hundreds of people on investing. Only thing is, the change would be because you have a desire to change, and the fact that therefore you went and met these people, therefore you came to this channel and you started watching and you got converted to becoming an equity investor. But that change has to be within you. If it is not within you, just by watching my videos or by attending courses on investments or things like that, you cannot become an investor. I cannot inject investing into you. And to me, it doesn't matter whether you want to be an investor or a saver. If you have tons of money, being a saver is good enough. But for most people watching this channel with a limited amount of money, for something like say 50 lakhs or 30 lakhs to about say 10 crores, we need to invest, because that has to grow and take care of our old age and blah blah blah, whatever, right? So when did I notice this? Well, I noticed this when I met some doctor who's a friend of another doctor who attended my lecture in Lucknow. So he said, oh, there was this guy called Subramaniam, he came, he spoke very well, we all attended, and blah blah blah. So this friend of mine who's also a doctor said, okay, did it have any impact on your investment? Then he thought about it and said, नहीं, मैं तो अभी रियल एस्टेट ही खरीदता हूँ. बट उन्होंने बताया कि रियल एस्टेट नहीं खरीदना चाहिए, इक्विटी में ज़्यादा अच्छा रिटर्न मिलता है. मैं मानता हूँ, लेकिन यार कौन करेगा, right? So that need to change is not so strong because they have a huge amount of money. For example, if I do calculate and tell you that next 6-7 years, if you want to live in a location, it is absolutely wrong to buy a house. You're much better off renting a house, because in a rented house you don't spend on innovation, on renovation, on stamp duty and all those things, right? The brokerage you pay is also less, and it is going to be only 6-7 years. But if you buy a house for 6-7 years, it makes no sense, because you will end up spending say 50 lakhs on the interiors, and that would be perhaps more than the rent that you would pay for those 6-7 years somewhere else, right? So but people do it because of 2-3 things. One is resistance to change. They'll come and tell you, oh, but what if the landlord throws us out every 11 months? It doesn't happen. I have lived in a rented house for 14 years. I have friends who have lived in rented houses for 20 years plus, right? So there are people living in rented houses. Today the landlord is more scared that you will vacate because he may not find another buyer or another renter, right? So that is one thing. But what happens is, when you have a lot of money, suppose somebody tells you you need 3 crores for your retirement and you actually have 9 crores, you can be very, very inefficient with your money. It won't really matter whether your money is growing at 8% or 6% or 5%, because you have enough money to keep in a savings bank account or under a pillow in your house and live the rest of your life, or what you think. It is perfectly possible that today this person is 55 years of age and she lives till the age of 90, and by the time science had advanced so much over the next 35 years that she lives for 112. So, but they still feel they're adequately provided, and it could be true, because they could have money, they could have a pension, they could have some more assets lying in other places which we don't know. So having a lot of money allows you to be very lazy and very inefficient about your money, and that's perfectly all right. There is no reason for an 80-year-old with 5 crore corpus and 5 lakhs of annual income to do something very dynamic. In fact, I would not suggest. But I know 80-year-olds who would chase that extra 0.5%, 1% in a small portion of their portfolio. On a 5 crore portfolio, some 25 lakhs could be in bank deposits, etc. And they would go bank shopping and say, this bank is giving 0.5% more, that bank is giving 1% more. Believe me, it makes no difference in their life. Largely it is saying, okay, I have nothing else to do. My senseless compounding, because they don't need compounding, my senseless compounding has to happen at 18% because my neighbors is happening at 17%. That's all. Other than that, there is no reason why the money should compound. Even if it compounds at 4%, they have enough money for living the rest of their life. But this chasing returns, again a habit which won't change. Right? You chase assets, you create assets, you chase returns, you do all that till maybe you're 60, 65. By the time you realize that you have adequate money for living the rest of your life with the standard of living that you want, with the lifestyle that you want, it's time to give up looking for that extra 0.5%, 1% return and shifting to, can I simplify it further? Can I have just one fund in which all my money is lying and from where I can withdraw whenever I want and deposit wherever I want, which gives me safety, liquidity and return, right? Getting all of this into one fund seems to be very difficult but not impossible, right? So changes happen only when you desire that it happens. Changes happen only when you really want it very badly from within. If you don't want it, you will not change just because I asked you to change or somebody else said watch this video on value investing and you will change. So you watched all those videos, nothing happened to you, right? So the deep inside desire to change has to be within. That can be helped by outside agencies like me, right? I can say why you should be in equity, what will happen if you're not in equity, all that we can provide. But that basic innate desire to change from being a saver to an investor has to be within you. After that, we can talk about what changes can be made. This is even true for a person who has never done anything on fitness. Suddenly he says, oh, from tomorrow I'm going to run. It is not going to be so easy. Maybe you join a gym, maybe you start running, maybe you will do 2 kilometers, 4 kilometers, 8 kilometers. Yes, one day you will be able to run the marathon. There is no doubt about that, but you can't run it today. You need to practice, you need to. How will this happen? Only if the desire inside is very strong, which says you must run. It is good for your body, it's good for your health, it is good for your bones, right? It has to pressurize you and you should feel that you should run. Then you can buy a shoes and a socks and start running. Otherwise, it will be, if I'm asking you to run, you will run for a few days and then you will say, it is raining. It is not raining, it is too hot, it is too humid, oh, Bombay is not a great place for running, Pune is a much better place. All this is nonsense. If the desire is there internally, it will come out. If the desire is not there internally, ask yourself, why are you doing that activity, right? Don't do that activity, just cease to do that activity because it is giving you a lot of stress. People don't understand that. Thank you.